This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's nightmare. I have to cover this topic. I need to rant about it. And I think that you need to know about it because you need to know what we're dealing with here in this world when we're dubbed the ones who are crazy, insane, and bigots as our government and all of the actors and celebrities and influencers are all embracing and encouraging psychotic behavior that we all have to live around. Now, there was a time where we had padded rooms and insane asylums. And of course, they'll tell you that those should be for us. But if there was ever a time, that we needed to neuter people, I'd say it was right here, right now, because thousands of people who identify as human dogs showed up. That's right, showed up at a location to bark, to, I guess, scratch each other, to sniff one another's rectums, all sorts of things that dogs do. I'm assuming it's what these people like to do. And we're supposed to embrace this, and anybody who speaks against it, of course, is considered crazy. This is being promoted. This is what our governments of the world government, has done to society. Instead of people standing up for their rights, fighting back against these tyrannical scumbags, overlords, who are trying to take away every right that we have, Instead, they're dressing up as dogs, going to places, and these people are dead serious about it. They're not there having a good time. They're not looking at this as Halloween. They literally identify as dogs. Remember a month or two ago on somebody else's YouTube channel, which is now gone, there was even a guy who was identifying as a dog, right?
Yeah, perfect. Ooh. Good boy. Amazing.
This stuff must stop. Could you, look what we're dealing with and living with here. Could you imagine in the wild, let's say in the 1800s, let's just say in the 1800s, in a saloon, that somebody walked into the saloon, even if it was a pack of these wolves, right, or whatever they call themselves, walked into a saloon. What do you think would happen? Would there be a civil conversation? Would anybody even deal with this insanity? The first thing that would happen would go like this. And it would be over. And nobody in the saloon would blink. The only thing they would do is probably just shake their heads in disgust. Nobody would address it and say, well, he identified as a dog, so why are you being so mean and hateful? Nobody would actually give the time of day to the notion that a human being is now behaving and living as a dog, because it's what you call utter insanity. But in this world, in wokeism, communism, it's utterly encouraged and embraced. So if there was ever a time to put an electric fence around human beings and collar them up and then to neuter them and spay and neuter them, this would be the exact time I would think it would be necessary. No. But see, instead they would say these are good people. What we need to do is neuter and castrate young children because that's what's important to them, not anything that would be considered sane. So a pack of dog-identifying humans has prompted calls for animal control after footage of their Berlin meetup went viral. Now, this is part of the problem with society. Why are we even laughing at this? Why are we laughing at this and just being like, oh, what's the big deal? It is a big deal. This whole do-without-Wilt mindset has been taken to a new level. These people need help, and we don't have the time of day or energy to deal with these people. Round them up and get them in an asylum. This is not normal human behavior. This is called psychopathic behavior. This is called insane behavior, okay? But instead, what do? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in Congress in the next couple of months if here in America we actually address this in Congress and say that people should be able to identify as dogs in schools, children should be allowed to, and if their parents don't consent, well, the school will consent for them, right? When are we going to stop this from happening? This is a time for all civilians, before it's too late, not just to store up on food and water and make sure you have supplies ready, because that is on the top of the list. You better store up on ammo. And you better store up and arm yourself, because people out there are like, I don't want to do this. Oh yeah, what if the hundreds of these no longer humans, because again, they weren't human probably in the first place, but no longer human beings who are now dogs, show up at your front door and they want in on your kids or your home, are you letting them in? Oh yeah, well, I would let them in because they're out there and they're suffering. Oh, okay, and when you wake up and you find your child getting molested or whatever, I can't say the word, what are you going to do then? Oh, you're going to just go, I shouldn't have let him in, right? Everybody needs to use common sense. Everybody needs to grow a pair of balls. And if you're female, please don't do that. But we certainly need females to stand up and have backbones too, because what happens is men are losing their balls and women are conforming to the insane behavior because they want to fit in and they don't want the other moms or the other girls that they're friends with, who all probably identify as liberal at this point because they work this whole thing into women by this whole, women's rights, women's empowerment, women's body. They're just manipulating you. They don't care at all about you. What they're trying to do is weaken you and formulate you and remove you from your household. They don't want you raising your kids. They want to be raising the kids. They want you in the workplace because their social status will be affected. So get to work. And in the meantime, let's have people identifying as dogs running amok in our society. An estimated 1,000 people showed up to this event who prefer to be recognized as not humans, but canines. They organized a gathering at the Berlin Potsdamer Platz railroad station in Germany, communicating only by howling and barking at one another. Online critics jeered at the trans-species folk, some offering to put the herd's canine instincts to the test. Just abandon them in the Siberian tundra and let them survive with their canine instincts. And I get it. It's good that people at least aren't afraid to make fun of this, because we're getting to a point where people are afraid to make fun of fudge packing, etc., because they want to be politically accepted, or they've been so desensitized that they now accept it because it's been beaten into them to accept, right? But people shouldn't even be cracking jokes about it. This should just be taken care of by fellow citizens. This type of behavior should not be allowed. It's insanity. We're going to let these people run amok, and you might be like, well, they're not doing anything. They're not. What about the kids? These people, some of them, I'm sure, have children, okay? And they talk about removing kids from the household, and they want these people to be raising kids. You got to pray for these kids out there. They have parents identifying as dogs. Oh, we're just having some fun. Oh, we're just, you're having fun. What's going on in your head? Has any normal person ever had a thought that they wish they were dogs? Maybe, you know what? Maybe we all have thought that before when we're at work and we're like, I wish I was home like my dog and I was sleeping 22 hours out of the day. That would be nice. And somebody walks me to take a dump. But I don't think anybody's actually thought, wow, life would be better if I was a dog, right? And I was licking and sniffing other people's butts. Oh, wait, most people in our society already do that. They're called Democrats, right? So this is just utterly insane. But let's continue. They say, oh, my goodness. They say, I don't see anyone smelling the tails of others, though. Can animal control call animal control and give them their rabies doses? Can you imagine when they all have to defecate? But if they identify as dogs, why do they put masks on? Oh, I don't know. Because the same people who are identifying as dogs are the people who are still wearing masks when they're not identifying as dogs. And they are the same people who don't need rabies shots because guess what? They've already got rabies, likely, because they put something in their body that they think is good for them, and it likely will have a worse outcome on their life than rabies will. We've already seen it, so we know that that's coming. So luckily and thankfully, we all can see something like this. This is why I talk about how we can look at people and know what their political affiliation is. So luckily, we know that all of these people, every one of them, they probably had a mandate to attend the event, all lined up to get their potion, thankfully. So maybe we can get a mass eradication going on, because having people like this walking amongst us, what would Jesus say in the days of the disciple? If somebody walked up to him and said, identify as a dog, will the lukewarm church tell us that Jesus would be like, that's great, I love you, you're wonderful? Or would he say, would he pray for the demon to exit its body? Would he do an exorcism? That's likely what Jesus would do. I don't want to speak for Jesus, but that's what I would guess. I wouldn't guess that Jesus would be like, hey, here's my friend Steve. He identifies as a lassie. He's coming for dinner here tonight. Hey, somebody make him a bowl of stew. And everybody accepting it and be like, this is cool. Nobody would roll their eyes. Nobody would be frightened of this. Of course they would be. And in other time periods, it wouldn't ever happen because society wouldn't be so weak that they'd allow people to run amok, the insane to run amok, to do ridiculous things. Do these people not know that they're victims of mind control? Who wakes up and feels like this? If you're waking up and feeling like this, you should probably evaluate what you're watching, what you're hearing, who you're listening to, because clearly it's planting seeds in your head to identify as a dog. The fact that we have people who would justify this and embrace this and be okay with this is another frightening thing. People who are okay with this are like, let them do what they want. They're just as much of a problem as the people identifying as dogs. And that's how we've gotten to the point that we're at, that we're actually looking at this, that I'm wasting my breath having to talk about this, that this isn't The Onion that you're listening to, that this is really happening. Holy moly, let me continue. Bear with me. They say, for example, some theory in short of therianthrope might believe that they are a cat soul reincarnated into a human body. Dr. Elizabeth Fine says, so thanks for addressing this, doctor. Am I a doctor? I'm going to start calling myself Dr. Call, because apparently everybody's a doctor. So if they're called doctor, you should listen to them. So we all know that more people need to listen to some of the stuff that I'm saying and you're saying, because we all think pretty much in the same stratosphere of common sense, right? So maybe we're all just doctors now. But according to Dr. Elizabeth, apparently there's people who believe that their cat souls are reincarnated to human bodies. So this is just more insanity from a doctor, an associate professor of psychology at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh. Oh, okay, so you're a professor of psychology. You probably should see a psychologist if you think that a cat is going into the body reincarnated of a human being. But let me guess, science tells us this, right? Make believe. They all tell us, which is ironic, which shows you how upside down it is. All these morons who think that they're smart and have a clue, they constantly, like, these people believe in make believe. Oh, they're fairy god up in the clouds, huh? And they believe stuff like this. Where's the documentation of complete nonsense about a cat's soul, about reincarnation that they always talk about? Oh, I believe in reincarnation. Why do you believe in reincarnation? Because it makes you feel good at night? Because you don't want to face the fact that if you don't find salvation through Christ, you're going to be burning in hell? Is that why? You want to believe in your reincarnation? Of course that's why, because it's convenient for you. Even though it should be convenient for you to find Christ, because it's free salvation through Jesus Christ. He died for all people, not just me and other people, for everybody, even the people identifying as dogs. But clearly nobody identifying as a dog is likely a Christian, but maybe there are some. But maybe they can get out of the psychosis they're in by picking up their Bible and instead of reading like Dog Boy or whatever their Playboy is. Apparently, if dogs, people dressed as dogs, I'm sure in pornographic movies, what they're doing most of their time, right? I mean, they clearly must be attracted to other people. They're out there howling. Oh, man. And these people, I guarantee you, have more rights than we do. I should just call what I'm saying howling so that they could stop calling it speech. And then I say, you're taking away my right to howl. Maybe that'll make sense to these morons. So other internet famous hound human hybrids include Tom Peters, a Brit who previously revealed he identified as a Dalmatian, and Toru Uda, a Tokyo engineer who spent $23,000 on a custom wolf suit, which you've seen. When I wear my costume, I feel like I'm no longer human, says Yulida. I feel I'm free of human relationships, all kind of troubles related to work and other things. I can forget about them. But animal-like behavior has been fetished as a BDSM kink known as puppy play. Where do these people, by the way, think that these types of things come from? Like the core of BDSM and all this stuff. Like, I'm into BDSM and we're just supposed to accept it and be like, oh, okay, that's your preference. Nobody would know what it was if it wasn't glorified in the media and in the movies, which is deliberately done because these are things that are done in the occult. That's where it comes from. They're like, have you seen 50 Shades of Grey? Oh, what do you think? That there's just a couple out there that's into, duct taping one another and handcuffing them to walls and then strapping them on or whatever they're doing. They got the idea because it was planted in their head from all of these psychotic, satanic occultists that live amongst us. And then they put it out there and they're like, this is cool. And now we're just accepting that. So apparently we're supposed to accept BDSM kink. Kink? Add that to the list of insanity. Puppy play, they say. They say known as puppy play, where participants, usually men, are equipped with muzzles, collars, or leashes and behave like a dog. And again, these people have a right to vote. I get it, your vote doesn't count. Should these people have any rights to live amongst us? They're talking about getting rid of us for not living amongst this. None of us want to live amongst this, right? Oh yeah, you should have the right to vote when you think we should castrate 5-year-olds, when you think that you identify as a dog and you're putting a muzzle on like a complete lunatic, like a complete loser, like somebody who needs to be, thrown off the face of the earth. They say some OnlyFans models have become mutts. Oh goodness, this gets even sicker. OnlyFans models. So I guess that's like, OnlyFans I believe is like, I guess it's some type of pornography thing, or I know it's a subscription thing. I'm assuming that's what it is. Models have become mutts to rake in the big bucks, finding in the it's funny how all the money, even though these people all plead poverty, all the money seems to be in the insane people have all the cash to do this type of stuff. Who has money to spend to ask women online to behave like dogs? I mean, why, do you need a background check? This should be something where, if you hear that somebody's doing this, you should just show up with a van with padded walls in it and bring these people where they belong. But instead, it's like, oh yeah, that's their fetish. Their fetish is watching women dress, and then women who are dressing up as dogs should be arrested too for embracing in the behavior. It's just utterly unbelievable. In 2020, adult content creator Jenna Phillips revealed she raked in $10K a month just for acting like a pooch, collar and all. Oh man, get me off this place. Can somebody sound the trumpets, please? Please, before my head explodes. Oh, $10,000 a month? Oh man. And of course somebody will be like, well, he's jealous of that. Well, I would be making something like that if I didn't get demonetized 9,000 times, even though I'm a new YouTuber. If I had the subscribers I once had, I might make somewhere near there by this point if I had 1 million subs. But it's not about money, but I'm just saying, for crying out loud, $10,000 for acting like a pooch. The sicker part might be the fact that someone's paying them $10,000 of their money to watch a woman act like a pooch. And we're not wondering where the mental health problems are. Oh, right here. But this is what they'll tell you. This is fine. This is normal. The mental health, it's these people that think there's some type of big government conspiracy going on. When the government embraces insanity, they embrace weak men. They embrace women who want to act like men and don't want to be moms and think being a mother's a yeah, sure. Feed me more. Tell me more of the bull crap. I can't take it. Give me more of it. I want more. Taser me too. They say it's insane, she said at the time, that she made $10,000 a month. She said, I never thought my weird dog kink would be looked at by a broad audience, or that so many people would care about it. It still blows my mind. Well, mine too. Maybe somebody should just blow my brains out. I mean, blow my mind. I'm done ranting about this. This is just utterly ridiculous. I'm probably not even leaving this up long, because it'll probably get a strike, right? This is just a simple video talking about sanity is considered hate speech, bullying, threat, danger, But adults howling, hundreds of them rounding together dressed as dogs on their hands and knees howling, that's okay, right? As the world burns around us. Get prepared, because these are the types of people who are going to be walking the streets, okay, who are going to have no food, no water, and want in on your home. And you're going to go, well, I'm a Christian, I should let him in. Yeah, and what are you going to do when you wake up in the middle of the night and the guy who identifies as a dog is humping your leg? Are you going to be okay with that? Or they're humping your kids or your wife or your husband, or they're taking a dump on your floor, because I'm assuming that goes with the protocol too, right? If you don't walk one of these things, they're just going to take a crap in your bathtub. So enjoy that when it happens, because I know it won't be happening near me. It's time for people to man up. The insanity needs to stop. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're doing well. Oh man, somebody put my head through a concrete wall. God bless all of you as always and your families.